Hello, thanks for having an interest in the SMD magazines, and just please give me 1 minute to explain you the core concepts before you intend to make a purchase. So first of all, those are 3D printed, right? Later this year, hopefully, I'll start a crowdsourcing or crowdfunding campaign to get them injection molded, but for now they're 3D printed. So the most important thing to know here is that there's absolutely no drawback in having a 3D printed version. There's no functionality or nothing that this does not have that an injection molded piece would have. So they're completely compatible. This in fact is basically the injection molded design, just slightly modified so it's a little bit better to 3D print. But it's basically the same thing, right? So that's the first thing. Look, these are 3D printed. Yeah, so let me just walk you through the functionality. So you have the magazine here with the compliant mechanism lever, and I'll show you that because you can actually have a rail like that, and you just click them on here and it'll be super sturdy, and you can place them on your bench just like this set here. And this is how it kind of looks like at the end of the day if you have filled them up with the components. So then next you have the spring-loaded mechanism. So basically you have two slots up here, right? The one you can open up by pulling down the lever here or the cap. And the upper one is for the plastic tape that usually covers the component tape. So I hope you can see that well on camera, but it will unwrap the plastic tape from the paper tape to uncover the components. So what you usually do is you pull the plastic tape here and it will advance the component tape. So you can see I'm exposing 3 components right now, which I can use to pick and place. And the cool thing is, I just simulate them by putting it out. So this is actually pressing against the upper tape and always covering components that are maybe not used. So if you have uncovered a component too much, you just push the tape back in and you're completely secure, right? That's the cool thing about the Design V2. And also, if you have a thicker component like this inductor here, this is a lot thicker than the tape down here. And you can use the same magazine to clamp those or to use those because it's spring loaded. You can load up to 9mm tape heights in here. And also the cool thing is, you can see those are only like 5 components left in here, but it still is super sturdy here. So you can really pick and place to the last component without losing stability. So what you then do is, if you have the tape like that, you just push it through this little slot here and it comes out at the back. And now you have basically completed your setup. Now next component, you just pull the plastic tape here and it'll uncover the next component down here. So those are really, really cool. And also, as you can see here, I have fairly advanced the tape. So this might be eligible for a cut. So you push back the tape so every component is covered, and you take just tweezers or scissors to cut the excess tape and also the excess plastic if you want. So that's kind of the core concept, right? You have the magazines, and I actually have I accumulated an entire tray. I hope you can see that. So if I have a new project, I'll just pull out the components I need, put them onto this rail, and then I'm ready to go. This is much better than the traditional way of having something like this, which is just all of the bags I got from LCSC that I haven't sorted into magazines yet, and it's a pain to find the components. So that's kind of the core concept, right? Okay, so to the next part. If you want to fill up a magazine like that, so in 90% of the cases, you will have just a short strip. If you buy an LCSC pack like this or a DigiKey, you get a strip. You get like 50, 100, 200, depending on your project. That's absolutely no problem. You just take a fresh magazine, push the tape in here. In fact, let me show you that. When I take the tape here out of the LCSC thing, so I push down the spring-loaded mechanism and I just insert the tape. And that's it, you're fully loaded now. You can go ahead and label the top for whatever component you have in the bag, so you can even throw the bag away and have it stored like that. So what you then do is, if you have a lot of components like this here, they're super cheap. I just sacrifice the first, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, just advance the tape or peel off the plastic covering, throw them in the bin or on the desk if I need them immediately, and then just put the tape behind through the slot as I demonstrated before, so I have a magazine ready to go. But sometimes you have more expensive components or not so many, then you can just go ahead with the tweezers and just peel off the plastic tape in the front, use the first components, and until or eventually the tape will stick out far enough so you can put the plastic covering behind and use it as a regular magazine. Right? So that's kind of how it works. So there's one downside to this. And if you want to fill up a magazine all the way just like this here, you will not be able to push the tape in until it's full like that. And the reason for that is that the tape naturally tends to expand. Let me demonstrate. I have a reel here, or a very long tape, and if I push that in, I get about maybe 3 or 4 layers in there. And now it starts to get a little tricky, and it's even harder to push it in, and at some point you will not be able to, you know, make progress because it'll expand inside and push against the outer wall and therefore block itself. So what you have to do in this case is you just take your finger and you reel it in like that, right? So you reel it in and it really makes progress. I mean, it's a little bit tedious, of course. You could also, you know, grab in here and pull the tape, but it's actually the best approach is to kind of just reel it in like that. And this is actually pretty fine to do. But one thing, like for my projects, 90% of the parts are just small strips. It's not, I don't have so many parts that I really have to fill up like that. It's actually only pull up, pull down resistors or decoupling caps or stuff like that. And I have a tool to do that. So I have this here. Maybe let me demonstrate. I can click the magazine on here, and there's this little thing in the middle. And I just take the beginning of the tape and just push it through here. And now I have something to rotate on this side. And if I do that, you can see it's very easy. Yeah, it's not so easy, but it's easier than, yeah, now we have it. It's easier than to reel it in. So this takes maybe 30 seconds to fill out the entire magazine. I don't do it yet because it's just a demonstration. But this tool is actually not for purchase yet. It's not finished. It's just a proof of concept. But just that you know, you can really use the magazines without the tool. It takes a little more time to fill it up all the way, but you can eventually do it. Yeah, but just that you know, before you make a purchase, please be aware of this situation. You can fill it up, but in most cases you don't have to. Yeah, that's kind of the magazines. So if you then have them on a rail like that, you can go ahead, put your PCB here, pick and place them. I have a YouTube stream, I think 2 weeks ago. I link it in the video description, so if you want to watch me building some PCBs with this entire system, go ahead. I really suggest you look into that stream. Other than that, I highly recommend using some sort of vacuum tool because you will have trouble getting parts out of with the tweezers. You will have problems getting the parts out of the tape. I mean, you might already know that. In my case, obviously, I'm using my own pump, which is the Pixel pump. And I'll just take the pen here, advance the tape, push the foot pedal, grab the component, place it, and then it's super cool, and it's a much cleaner approach than using tweezers, in my mind. In fact, if you're interested in trying out the Pixel pump, I am still looking for maybe 1 or 2 beta testers that want to purchase an early version of the pump. The pump itself is 100% complete. It's functioning. You have the foot pedal, and everything is cool. I just don't have the official packaging and user manual just ready yet. So if you want to make a purchase and if you want to try out the pump, please send me a message, no problem. And I'm super happy when I'm super happy if you want to try that. But as you may know, it comes without the official packaging and without the user manual, just in a secure box. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you very much for your interest in the magazines. They will be shipped in something like that. So if you open it up, you get 6 magazines in such a pack. Currently I have blue ones and gray ones. So feel free to choose whatever mix you like. I sell one pack of 6 pieces for 30 euros. You can buy as many packs as you like. And I also sell the sand filled and foam equipped rail for 39 euros. You can feel free to 3D print your own if you prefer that, no problem. Yeah, so those are the two things. And I really love building projects with the magazines. I cannot tell how much better it is to use something like that in comparison to just having, you know, bags like this. So thank you very much for your interest. I hope you enjoyed the short intro. I will link the Thingiverse rail and also the Thingiverse version 1 of the magazines if you want to try them out. And if you want to try the Pixel Pump, just send me a message. I'll onboard you with all the details. And yeah, have fun with the magazines.